Now that we've made it through Thanksgiving here in the States, I know so many of my craft buddies are now laser focused on getting that Christmas list crossed off. And with one last week that we normally have from Thanksgiving to Christmas, it can feel a little hectic, but don't worry. Today I have got you covered. I have got so many DIY gift ideas, and a lot of times this can suck up your money and your time, but do not worry, we're not doing that today. We're doing these quick, easy, on a budget, and we are going to cover everybody from teachers, coaches, neighbors, all the way through to those you hold most dear, like spouses, parents, family, all those folks. So let's get into it. I've got so many things to share with you today. You're watching Whiskey and Whit. My name is Whitney, and a huge welcome back to my whiskey craft buddies who are here each and every week to DIY with me. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I would love it if you would consider joining the Whiskey Craft Buddies. All you have to do is hit subscribe down below so you don't miss any future videos I have coming your way.
We're going to kick things off with a fun and creative way to make over a bottle of whatever you want to gift. So it doesn't have to be an alcoholic option. It could be a craft bottle of root beer. Whatever you're deciding to use, you're going to use some washi tape or painter's tape to cover up the label, so then that way we aren't going to cover it with the white paint we're going to add. I carefully went around and made sure that I got the label covered so you didn't have splotches of white paint, and then I am going to give this bottle 2 coats of white paint. You might need 3 depending on your bottle. Then put that aside and let your paint dry, and then you're going to need either some tissue paper or napkins in a vibe that you like. So for this one, I actually made it for a birthday celebration, but you could use this and do a holiday one. You could do something to celebrate New Year's. You could do something to celebrate the year that somebody's had as a milestone, weddings. So many different options. Just grab yourself a napkin or tissue, and then you're going to get all of the layers off. So these were a couple ply, like 3-ply napkins, so I'm getting that off. Then I'm going to remove the tape from my dried bottle and use either some Mod Podge, or here I am using some of this kind of Mod Podge alternative made by the people that make Swatch marker. I really do like it. It's called Maker's Magic, and I will link it down below. And it made it really easy to apply things on here. This is foolproof because literally you can just keep layering it until you get the look that you want. You can trim down like balloons or your holiday stuff or whatever. This is also a great Hostess gift, and you're just going to work your way all the way around the bottle. Then when everything's set, give it one more coat of your Mod Podge or your Maker's Magic, and then it is ready to gift. What I love about this is not only is it a 1-part gift where you're able to enjoy the liquid that's inside, but then also this bottle is beautiful to keep as a keepsake. I've started to do this for bottles when I hit different levels of achievements for work, like when we hit subscriber counts and things like that, and it is just a really fun gift. Somebody is going to be really touched that you put this effort in. Now, if that seems like a lot to you, no worries. Here's another fun way that you can gift things. I like to go to my local Aldi if you have one near you. They have so many beautiful bottles already that you can gift to somebody. And then they also usually have a ton of great glassware that you can grab to put with it. These were just in the aisle this last week, and these kind of look like the Love is Blind glasses that they use on the show, which I got a kick out of. So I got this for a friend that loves that show. I took a thrifted basket as well as a napkin, a pretty bottle that I found, add the glasses. You can either leave them in the box, but I think taking them out makes them look nicer. And then you can add any additional fluff that you think is needed. This is great for a friend. This is great for a Hostess gift, and you can really customize it to that person. Again, looks like you tried really hard with minimal effort. This next one will be a hit for anyone you decide to give it to, and it's also a great dish to pass this time of year. You're going to get yourself some of these Snaps pretzels. They're the ones that are in the square shape, and you're going to lay them out on a parchment lined baking sheet to make sure that everyone has their own space. Then you can do 2 different routes. You can either use Hershey Kisses, or my favorite is using these Rolos. Sometimes you can find Rolos that are unwrapped, but unfortunately I had to unwrap these, but they're so worth it. Take your little candies, whether it be a Hershey Kiss or a Rolo, and add it to all of your little Snaps pretzels. Put them in the oven, and you're going to do this pretty quick. You're going to do 325 for like 2 minutes, barely. Watch them, make sure that they're just a little shiny, and then you're going to go through on the Rolos and add a pecan, or you can also add just an M&M, and that's what I add to my Hershey Kisses. So depending on if you want the chocolate caramel nut mixture, if you just want chocolate, you can really mix and match these as much as you want. And then you're going to put those onto a plate and put them in the fridge so they can kind of flash harden. Then what I like to do is just create some cute little tags in Canva. These are free over in my free file library, and I have the information on what are in them so that you can attach them so that people know how long they're going to last. And then I use my fancy little corner cut. So in case you don't have a Cricut or anything, you can just go ahead and get those nice rounded corners, super easy, and then pop a hole in, and you can put them in either tins or these bags I found at Hobby Lobby. And these are great. These we used for neighbor gifts last year, and I have a feeling they're going to be teacher gifts and all the things this year, because literally you can't just eat one of these, especially if you like that combo of the turtles. So throw them in a container. People will love you forever when I gift these. I get asked for the recipe all the time, and they are so easy to make. So definitely try them out this year, whether you're bringing a dish to pass or you're gifting them to anybody on your list. You will be a rock star. So for this next one, I'm doing something I don't typically do. I'm sharing an actual gift I'm giving this year. I've had to get ahead of things because I am obviously going to be having a baby around the time that I would be making gifts, and I wanted to make this for my mom. This is actually a take on my friend Courtney's DIY that she did for the Holidays in Heaven, saving your loved ones that have departed a chair. And I wanted to do it in a lantern where my mom could update it per each season. So I got these lanterns from Amazon, and I started by needing to rise up the bottom of it because I wanted to really be able to see the items in there. So I cut 2 pieces of cardboard to the same size that would fit in there while also allowing the door to shut. I glued them together, and then I covered the outside with just some burlap I had in my stash. This worked out great because I added glue and kind of wrapped it like a present using the hot glue, and it kind of looks like carpet. So it looks like you're almost looking in on like a living room, which is really the vibe I was going for. Once I made sure all the edges were glued down tight and that it would fit back into my lantern, I had to accessorize. So I ended up getting my chairs from Amazon, and all of the supplies I'm using for this project and everything else will, like always, be linked down below. But I wanted to let you know that anywhere that has like a doll section, so this is Hobby Lobby, you can find these accessories. I actually found this cardinal and little Christmas train at Michael's, and I am making this for my mom's parents. So if you've been around a while, especially lately, I've talked about my late grandparents on my mom's side, and so this is what I'm making for them. This Holidays in Heaven poem is a sign that I made for my mom years ago. I thought this was a great take on it and something that she can leave up year round, because I didn't do Christmas in Heaven, I did Holidays in Heaven. So this cut file is free over in my free file library, so if you'd like to make this or put it on a sign, you can do that as well. I just weeded it out on some black matte vinyl and applied it to the glass on the back of the lantern. I went back and forth on doing it like mirrored and then putting it on the back, but I decided to just put it on the inside because I think if she leaves it shut, it will be less apt to get dust on this part of the lantern. I applied it carefully to the back, and I applied it up a little bit higher because I'm going to have all that stuff underneath, so I wanted to still be able to read it while also seeing the items underneath. So with my carpet and the decal on the back, that's the base of this. And then for the Christmas one, I added a tree, a chair, the cardinal, and the train, as well as 2 little frames that I also got from Hobby Lobby. It's in their scrapbooking section. And I added a photo of both my Grammy and my Grampy. Now, if you don't want to put it in the lantern, you could also lean it up above or add it like an ornament, but this, I hope she loves it. I've been trying to hide it from her while she's been here watching Finn, and I told her she can't watch this video. So Mom, if you watch this video, tisk tisk. But I hope you love it, and I am really proud of how it turned out. Have you ever wanted some large photos for your wall, but then you go to buy them and realize they're way too expensive? Well, here's a Dollar Tree hack with foam board. You're going to take some 1x2 boards, cut them for either end, and then measure in between the 2 pieces to cut a very simple border. Sand them down and then head to Walgreens.com. They're either going to have a deal on the front page or under deals up in the right-hand corner. And I was able to print a 20x30 poster of our family picture for $12.99. So with the wood and the foam in there, you're looking at under 20 bucks. I used some double-sided tape to mount my poster right to the 20x30 foam board. I ordered the same size print as I had foam board. And then it's as easy as taking a staple gun and stapling that border right around your picture. Now you could decide to stain it like I did an early American stain. You can paint it. You can go for the raw wood look if you like that. But it's really easy to customize this and to gift this. This is another one where you can find a nice photo of somebody's family online, because everybody shares stuff nowadays, you can grab it, get it printed, and then surprise them with a gift like this. You can trim off any extra pieces, and then I like to measure the center of the back and add one of these little claw picture hanging clips. Then that way I can put it right on a nail in the wall. I think these look like $1,000,000 when they definitely didn't cost me a lot, and this is also something you might want to make and treat yourself. I'm sure you've seen these online, these super popular fanny packs and bags, all customized with fun patches that fit either Disney or the person's personality. Well, these can get really pricey, so here's how you can make a lookalike version for much cheaper. I grabbed patches from a variety of different places, from Etsy to Hobby Lobby. You can find them a lot of different places. And instead of ironing it on this Stony Clover Lane lookalike bag that I got from Amazon, I use super glue. You can also use E6000, but I found this grips a lot better and your edges don't pop up as easily. It's as simple as gluing it on, letting it sit overnight, and then your bag is good to go. I decided to go with Lightning McQueen because that's Finn's favorite, and I thought he would get a kick out of it, but there are a ton of other options you can do, whether you've got a Disney trip coming up or you just want this for every day. You guys know I love doing wood builds, and this is a beginner-friendly wood gift that would be awesome for somebody that likes this type of style. So it's a rustic, organic, modern bench. Lumber itself was under $10, and once you add in stain and sealant and everything, I was able to make it for under $25. These sell for hundreds for ends of beds or anything. So definitely check out my 2x4 build video. I will link it up above and down below. That's where you're going to find this tutorial, and this would make a great gift. This next one, I cannot believe I haven't shared it before because my family has been doing this for years, since I was little. And especially if you have a big family like we do, this is a tremendous gift. You go on to any of the places that you would print photos or get Christmas cards, anything from Canva to Snapfish to Walgreens, CVS. Go in, create a custom calendar, and what we do is we add everybody's birthdays and anniversaries as well. So with a big family like this is my dad's side, it's super nice because you get to see photos of everybody, and then also you get to have a reminder right there of like when my cousin's birthday is and when my aunt and uncle's anniversary is, and it just helps us keep up with everybody when we're all spread out. So definitely check this out, and now's the time to look because they are running sales. Every time I find myself looking at gift lists, I always see these boutique style candles, but they're like $30-40 a pop for a candle. So instead we're going to make our own. I grabbed this $11 one and this $13 one from Walmart, but you can get them anywhere. I just really like the Better Homes and Gardens Walmart candles. And then I went onto Canva. I literally typed in candle label and sized it to what I needed to replace the Walmart labels. I printed it on sticker paper, cut it down with my slice cutter, and then it was as easy as taking off the old label, which came off so easy. Thank you, Walmart, for using a decent sticker instead of leaving a bunch of residue. And then you just replace it with the one that you made. This makes it look so much more high-end, and I also like this one because I added a fun message to it. It could be for a friend, for a coworker. This one is just if you're having a rough day, light it and remember that you're loved. I love the message there. And then on the one side of the noble fir and pine, I just said scents that will make you feel like you are at a Christmas tree farm in December. I love these because they are 1000% customizable, and they're way cheaper than those boutique ones, and you get a very specific personalized gift. Every year, I know you guys love to see what I get Finn for his Christmas box, and this is the last year that I'm just doing one box because next year I will be doing two. I'm so excited. Now, we do a December 1st box because I think it helps get more use out of the stuff. Then that way he's not just wearing PJs once, he's not just reading books once. So I get these books from Walmart. Walmart has the best kids holiday book selection in my opinion. They've got so many options, at least the store by me. So I got him 3 books, a cute little bluey blanket so that he can use that in this little cuddly stuffed animal while we're watching Christmas movies. I also got him an elf placemat for the table, and then some fun train themed items for special breakfasts and things. So we've got a ton of stuff that we can enjoy. He will be getting this on December 1st so that he can enjoy it throughout the month of December. And if you like the box that it's in, I did make that, and I shared how to do that over in my wood build video, so I will link that for you if you would like to build your own. So a couple years ago, I made this sublimation pillow for my grandma and grandpa. This is on my dad's side, and there are 12 grandkids, and the grandkids have started having their own kids. Well, when I made it 2 years ago, the only two kids that were around were Finn, and then we had, my cousin had a daughter. Now, since then, we have the addition of our baby, or will soon, and then also my brother and his wife had a baby. And so I wanted to update this into a frame thing so it was a lot easier to then, update because we're the oldest. So, all these kids aren't, well, some of them are married, but you get my gist. So, what I did is I went on design bundles and I purchased like a good amount of these just because there's so many of us, but like dads and families and all these things. And then I went into Canva and I'm now updating this one from the year prior. What I am going to do is a lot of them come with bodies. And so like if you look here, you've got a shirt, you've got a head, you've got clothes, etc. All of this. What I'm going to do is I am actually going to, this is supposed to represent my brother, and I'm going to duplicate this, move it over, and create a situation where now, his daughter's running around, so she's no longer, doing the shoulder thing. She can be kind of the kid that Finn was before. So you go through that file when you get it, and you find what kind of shoes that you like, what kind of outfit that you like for each person, and you can customize each thing. I'm gonna give him some shorts, and the key here is switching between like where everything should sit. So here he's gonna get this, and then I'm gonna also look, so like here's what I'm doing. There are different shirt colors and different things, so you can go through and say, okay, as it goes through, like what color. We really don't have, I don't have like a sand color, so I'm gonna give my cousin this shirt. And you can kind of size it to put it on. You can also zoom in here. And it's kind of fun to play around with. I would make sure to give yourself some time, especially if you're doing like a larger family like I am. But all of these, especially if they're by the same designer, should lock in. So then that way everything is like fitting. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the saying that I put on the pillow, which is life takes us to unexpected places, family brings us home. And then I'm going to look for neutral background. I'm going to try, whoop. I like this one. I'm going to pull the transparency down a little bit so it's just not too much. Selecting just your family group and grouping it once you're done. So then that way you can move it all as one piece, because if not, you'll probably get very frustrated. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to go for. So then I'm going to hit share up here, and I'm going to download, you can do JPEG or PNG. And then I'm going to head over to Walgreens to print it in 11 by 14 so I can frame it. I like to go up here to deals on the photo thing. Okay, 50% off prints and enlargements, that's what I want. We're going to copy it, 50 bells, and then we're going to head up here to posters. I usually do this same day pickup, create now, and then we're going to upload that photo that we just created in Canva. Gonna add this to the project. Gonna review your order, 11 by 14, perfect. And with my coupon, it's only $6.49. Then my last step was to add it to this matted frame that I grabbed from Amazon. What I liked about it is it was an 11 by 14 with a mat, and it had a kickstand on the back. So it doesn't have to be hung on the wall if they don't want it to be, but they can. So that was a nice option. They can put it wherever they feel like they want to in their house. I love this thing, and it's also going to be way easier for me to add kids and just print another poster in the future instead of having to remake sublimation pillows over and over, and this is a lot more accessible than sublimation anyway. This is one of my favorite photo gifts to give. You could honestly give them to anyone, but I think these are great for especially work gift exchanges, especially if you're friends with the people on social media. What I would do when I used to work in corporate is if I knew the person well enough and was friends with them on Instagram or Facebook, I would go and grab some pictures from the year of their family or them and their boyfriend, them and their dog, whatever. Cut out 4 of them in the 4x6 size and then trim them down to make it look like a Polaroid on these cheap little tiles you can get at Home Depot for literally a couple bucks. Put your Mod Podge down, stick down your picture, and then seal over the top with another coat of Mod Podge. And these things are good to go. They're such a fun and personalized gift, especially for somebody that thinks they might just get, something non-personalized. You just add a little bit of felt and you can tie it up with a fun little gift tag. And this really shows that you put the thought in, but it doesn't take a lot of time or money. This next one is so versatile. You could use it for so many different things. You're going to get some powdered donuts. I got the mini Little Debbie's ones, and I stacked 5 across the bottom of a Ziploc bag. This is just the sandwich size. You're going to roll it up, get out all the air, and then I folded down both sides of the Ziploc bag and used some just regular old Scotch tape to hook it all down because I am trying to make it easy so a kid could open it, but also trying to hide that green strip. Once I stick that down, I'm also going to tape the edges on the top and the bottom so it really looks like a snowman is coming together here. Then in between the top 2 and the bottom 3, I tied on just a little bit of chenille ribbon. You can use ribbon, you can use cut up old socks, mittens, whatever you have on hand to do this. And then I took some black cardstock and cut out just a simple little hat shape. I did a little tape roll on the back, added it as a hat, and then the last step is to use a marker carefully to add eyes, a mouth, a nose, and some little dots for the buttons. I think these are so cute. It would be great for a little winter party at school. I also think these would be so fun with the tags if you have a kid or a grandkid in sports and they have a basketball tournament right after Christmas. This is nice because it's not super Christmassy, but it would be cute for breakfast. Everybody gets their own little snowman. I think these are so fun, and I'm keeping them on hand to put on my delivery driver cart when folks come to deliver packages for the holidays. So many uses here. I wanted to share with you guys how to add my favorite kind of monogram right now, which is the shadow block, super trendy, to a variety of different things. First up, this cord case, perfect for traveling.
You want to put this block monogram on, you just need to know this simple trick to create it. So I'm in Design Space, but you can use whatever design software that you like. I am going to monogram a cord bag for my sister-in-law, so I'm going to put her first name, last name, initials, so RG. I'm using this font from Cricut called Everyday Fonts Announcement, but you could use any block font that you have. I just found this one and I like how it looks. I'm going to go up here with it selected and duplicate it. So we've got 2 of these. And then I'm also going to just change the color on each just to help me visualize where we're going here. I'm going to do 2 different blue colors, and here they are on top of each other, and this is the look that we're going for. Now the goal here is to get both of these to fit within the width that I want, which is 4 inches, and then I had 3 inches tall. So I kind of mess around. If I do 3 inches tall, that's going to be 5 inches wide, which I actually think will work out good. So I'm going to do the 3x5 situation here, and the reason I'm sizing it with them together is so when I layer it, it's still going to be within the size that I need. Now all I need to do is cut these out on the respective colors, and we're going to apply them, and it's going to look so cute.
All I had to do was pick my 2 colors of heat transfer vinyl, make sure that the shiny side was down, and also select the little mirrored option on Cricut Design Space. I cut them both out, weeded them, and then I did a quick little dry fit before I put it on there so I could see how wide it was going to be with the offset. Now to make sure I don't get any heat on my zipper, I opened it up and laid it like so on my small little press pad. I started with the bottom layer, pressed it down, peeled off the carrier sheet, relayered that second one on top, and then this is just a small little Teflon sheet. I bought them in a big sheet and then I cut them down. It helps protect the item that you're putting the heat on. And literally that's it. I love this. I know they're going on a trip. She asked for some other travel things for Christmas, and so I definitely think this is fun to add to the gift.
Another great option to monogram, whether it be with a vinyl cutting machine or with decals that you purchase, are these valet trays.
I made one of these for my good friend who was also pregnant to go in her hospital bag, but I also then had to make one for myself. I did one without the block shadow, then I did mine WC with the monogram. So the only thing I did different than my sister-in-law's is I just did a quick slice. So then that way I wasn't layering 2 pieces of vinyl. It's more of like an actual shadow. So there are a couple different ways that you can do it. All you have to do is line them up, add them with heat just like we did on the other one. And these things are great. I have one that I bought years ago, but it's not personalized. And what I love about it is a great little valet tray for traveling. I'm going to use this when I am in the hospital to keep all my stuff on the little table all corralled, but it's also great, because you can fold it flat, put it in your travel bag, and then snap it together when you get to your destination. I like to put my jewelry in it, sometimes my phone or my Apple Watch if I'm not wearing it while I'm sleeping, and it's so easy. You can take it apart and put it together one-handed. This next one is inspired by my dear friend Courtney over at Creative on the Cheap, who shared this project at our pinners class. As part of our extra projects, she let people know that you could take an 18-inch wood round, a 6-inch Lazy Susan, and some felt pads and make a really pretty Lazy Susan. So I decided to make a hybrid between the Lazy Susan and a tray. I started by taking my wood round that I got from Menards and staining it to match my house because we're going to decorate it for the season and then be able to use it year round. Then I got my 6-inch hardware, added it, made sure it was centered on my board, and then I used 3/4-inch flathead screws to attach it. I wanted to make sure that the screws were going to sit flush so it didn't impede anything with the Lazy Susan. Then I decided to put my felt tips on last just so it didn't get covered with all the gunk that was on my work table in my garage. And then I'm using gate pulls, but you could use honestly any cabinet hardware. I just like that you can screw these right in. You don't have to put holes in the bottom and go up through it. It is just going to go right into the wood. I like to drill pilot holes, and then when I'm screwing these in, I go in about 75%. That gives me a little bit of wiggle room to make everything centered, and then I go through and do the last 25% on all of them. It just helps everything line up. Then my last step was to add my little felt pads, and then you can also add a sealant if you plan to put a lot on top of it, especially if you painted or stenciled it. I would definitely recommend a spray or wipe-on sealant. This project would be a great gift. You could monogram it with a stencil. You could also paint it. It would also be fun with like a football or sports team's logo for entertaining. There are so many possibilities with this one. A huge thank you to Courtney, and I hope I did you proud. This next one would make an awesome gift. I decided to do hot cocoa, but you could customize this for anyone's name or sports teams or different characters that they like. I took some 1x4 pieces. I had 3 approximately the same length, so I cut them all down so they were the same length, and then I also cut 2 pieces that would fit along the ends of each. Once that was done, I sanded everything down and stained all the pieces individually because it was just easier for me to have them stained when I put it together. Then I stacked all 3 pieces on top of my 2 pieces that I cut down the ends, and I decided to put it on the bottom so then that way it is kind of a raised tray. I nailed it all down, and then I originally was going to use these cabinet handles, but they didn't have screws deep enough, so I decided to go back in with this 6.5-inch pull from Menards, and that was much better. Then no matter what decal you're putting on, you want to make sure that you measure your tray. Then because we're stenciling, I'm going to cut it out on just some white permanent vinyl. It's as simple as sending it to the machine, hitting the button, and just letting it do its thing. Then I peeled it back from the mat. Then I'm going to weed it like a stencil, so I'm pulling off all of the inside pieces versus that big outside piece that we would normally do if we were making it as a decal or a sticker. Add the transfer tape and add it onto the tray. Make sure it's centered. And then after that coat of Mod Podge, I used my little makeup sponges to do white, black, and red. And the nice thing about stencils is that you don't have to worry about your vinyl peeling up. But here, I just prefer the look of painted wood versus wood with decals on it. And also it's nice because you only have to buy a 50-cent container of paint to change your colors when you do a stencil. If you're doing the vinyl, you have to have that color of vinyl. So that's another reason why I go that route. Once you peel it off, you can touch up any areas that you need to, and then I sealed it with this Varathane triple thick that I like to seal all of my stuff with. I waited to add the handles till the end so I could get the sealant underneath the handles so everything was sealed and good to go. And this thing is going to be a staple for movie nights and hot cocoa bars at our house. Vinyl records are making a comeback. I know I love playing them on my record player. So here is a quick and easy way that you can make this beautiful display so that you can get it out of the closet and use it more or gift it to somebody that's big into vinyls right now. So this one's actually going to be made with laminated lumber or edge glued pine, and I grabbed 2 of these 1x16 by 4 foot pieces. This plan was inspired by Shanty to Chic, but I had to update theirs because they used a table saw. So what I grabbed is 2 of those 16 by 4 foot, as well as a scrap piece of 1x6 from my house. Now to get the cuts without a table saw, we're going to use our circular saw, but we're going to use this Craig rip cut attachment. This is a great thing to add to your tool bench if you want to be cutting these large pieces. You just attach with a screw the pieces, slide your saw onto this guide, set it to the size. So here I'm cutting 16 inches, and you use it to glide right across the wood. You hold the saw with your one hand, guide with the other hand, and it is a fairly easy process. I have never cut with it until this day, and Alex showed me, and it was pretty easy. Once I got my 3 16-inch pieces and my 2 24-inch pieces, I'm going to add pocket holes to the bottom of my 16-inch pieces, 3 on either side, and then I'm going to sand everything down. Now it's time to assemble, so I laid down one of my 24-inch pieces and measured about 5.5 inches from the top to allot for the back of my shelf, which you'll see in just a second. I'm going to add wood glue and apply it where it needs to go, and then I'm going to use 1 1/4 inch pocket hole screws to attach it because we did 3/4 inch pocket holes, or at least I thought. You guys, I make mistakes too. I accidentally did 1.5 inch pocket holes and they were way too deep, so I had to go back through and do them again at the 3/4 inch. So, you know, we all make mistakes. So once that was fixed and I got my thing 5 inches from the top, I'm going to flip it over and add the other wall, which is your other 24-inch piece. Again, 5.5 inches from the top. Make sure everything's square, and we're going to put our 3 pocket hole screws into there to attach it. Then I am going to make sure that my pocket holes are facing out and add the bottom flush to the bottom of the 2 pieces. We're doing the pocket holes on the bottom so you don't see them. Flip it over, do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to add a little bit more wood glue to my shelf and add that in. It was about 4 inches from the top shelf. Then you're going to be looking at something like this, and I decided to take a piece of scrap 1x6, which is about 5.5 inches actually, and cut it down and add pocket holes so that it fits. It's about 16 inches wide. We're going to add some more wood glue and then screw that all in across the back. If you're using a 1x4 or a 1x3 or something different than what I'm doing here, you're going to want to allot for that when you add your top shelf. So just make sure that's as far down as your back piece so it all lines up. Then it's time to finish it and add some hardware. So I'm going to use this Minwax stain in the color Provincial. It's kind of like if Dark Walnut and Early American came together, which I'm really liking lately. And then once that's completely dry, I got these legs off of Amazon. They are the same ones as Shanty to Chic, but they did 5.5 inch legs, I think. And I decided to do 7-inch legs. So overall, this is very similar to their plans, but I just updated it so you don't have to use a table saw, and it also is a little bit higher to sit next to chairs in our living room. I love the black matte hardware, and I added these record displays. They're supposed to go the other way, but I put 2 in there so it acted as like a shelf in there, something I didn't have to build. My little Crosley record player fits perfect in the top. It even has enough room for me to open it and put a record on there and play it there. I really want to expand my collection, and now that I have a place to actually have my record player out instead of having it in a closet will help me do that. This would also make a great printer stand, or you can even pop your Cricut Joy on the top. I'm super excited about this next one because it is quick and easy, but it's going to be such a fun gift to give. Michael's had these 16-case photo keepers on sale for $15. I grabbed one, brought it home, and removed the sticker and measured to see what size I needed all of my different pieces. I realized on the front I needed about 7.5 inches, and then on each of the little containers on the inside about 4.5 inches. Now, I went through on Cricut Design Space and designed all of this for you, so if you are interested in making one of these, you have a couple options. If you don't have a Cricut machine, there is a seller on Etsy that I found that makes things very similar to these that you can buy the stickers for about $15, I think, and then they'll send them to you and you can stick them on yourself, or you can buy one pre-done. I just saw it and I knew that with my Cricut, I could make this for a gift. I'm going to apply the baby good bread to the front with this little floral wreath. The floral wreath will be an SVG. And then I also typed out everything from 1 month all the way up to 12 months. I also did newborn, keepsakes, pregnancy, and ultrasounds so that they could keep all of that in the container. It makes it a lot easier to weed things on a large sheet like this and then cut them apart personally. So I'm going to apply the transfer tape and then cut them apart. And then I'm just going to go through and apply them to each of the little picture containers and then insert them in order. And there it is, super quick and easy. This is such a great gift to give, not only at a shower, but this would also be great if you know somebody at work that is having a baby, that you want to get them something, you maybe don't know what their registry is. This is nice because you're not getting them clothes that wouldn't be in their style, like especially if you don't know what they want. So this is great. It's a little keepsake. They can put photos in there. They can put little mementos. This would also be cute for an older kid if they do a lot of activities, if you want to save like ticket stubs and things like that. If you're a Swiftie like me, or you have a Swiftie that you are looking for a gift for this holiday season, you're definitely going to want to see these next few ones. Back at the beginning of November, I was able to go to the last US show of the Eras Tour. We squeaked right in. Yes, I was super pregnant and I made a ton of bracelets. I did a lot of trading, but I wasn't able to trade all of them, but I wanted to display them because I spent a lot of time on it. I decided to cut out Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, Indianapolis, Night 3 on my Cricut, and the Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour is an SVG over in my free file library that you can download and then just add the text if you would like. You can also do a sticker, you could do printable sticker paper, tons of different options on how you can get it on there, even if you don't have a vinyl cutting machine. I opted to reverse weed this just because the text is pretty dainty, the one that they chose for the tour. And once I was able to remove all the outside pieces, I added it to just a large ornament I had in my stash from Dollar Tree. This is great because it is an oversized ornament. I don't plan on hanging it. If you want to hang it, I would not get the big one and I would not load it up as much as I did, so just FYI. I'm trimming some slits into the side of my transfer tape to help with the application, so I'm not getting creases in my letters. You just want to go through and try to make sure that your creases are not where the letters are. It can go in between the lines like I'm doing here, in between the letters. Just try not to have that bubble. Once you get it where you want it, you can remove your transfer tape carefully, and then you've got your customized ornament. Then I'm just going to fill it up with a bunch of bracelets that I made. Like I said, I did a lot of trading, but also I made a lot. It was really zen at night to just do that and not really be scrolling on my phone. So, I made decor instead of having things to trade. I added a fun, colorful bow, and if you want to hang it, you're going to add a hanger, but like I said, this is too big and too heavy to hang. Instead, it is going to live in my craft room on my Taylor Swift shelf. So I've got Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, Indianapolis, Night 3. And then I also made this cute little bow ornament as well that says Eras Tour, Indy, Night 3. I made these in a previous mystery box video back in October, so I will link that for you as well if you want to make that. This is so fun. I like that it sits up on its own, and I've got a fun little container that was only $1.25 plus some vinyl to house all of my bracelets. Did you know that you could add heat transfer vinyl to the cover of a leather notebook? Well, let me show you how easy it is. All you have to do is cut out the heat transfer vinyl of whatever you want. I'm going to do a Taylor Swift inspired design here, but you could literally do whatever you can cut out. You could also get a patch to do this as well if you don't have a Cricut, like how we put on the bags and the other things earlier. You can get those from Amazon, Hobby Lobby, Walmart, anywhere. I'm going to add this on here, and on medium heat setting, I am going to just transfer it to my journal that I got from Michael's. I will link it down below. It's like a little bullet journal. And after I have applied the heat, I can peel off that carrier sheet and reveal this beautiful notebook. Now remember, when you're using anything Taylor Swift, Disney, all those big ones, do not sell these because they will come after you. But for personal use and gifting, you can definitely use that file. I'm going to pack this up with a CD of the Tortured Poets department and gift it to a friend who is a Swiftie and I know collects the CDs.
I hope you're leaving this video with a ton of inspiration so you can cross those last folks off of your gift list. Let me know down in the comments which gift was your favorite, or if you have a couple that you're planning on recreating, I'd love to hear that too. And also be sure to give this video a thumbs up before you leave if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being a craft buddy if you already are. If you're not and you enjoyed this video and want to stick around, be sure to hit subscribe down below so that you won't miss a future video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.